Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land
glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The Vancouver Canadians alongside the Tri-City Dust Devils. It's the future of the San Diego Padres getting ready to take on the future of the Toronto Blue Jays. And boy, the future looks bright with a man that is taking his final warm-up tosses right now, as you're going to get a look tonight at the right-hander Adam Kloffenstein. Very blue-chip prospect. And Ricky, the stage is always something that he's wanted to be on, and tonight he gets the must-win game on national TV. We'll see if he rises to this occasion as well. The first inning is brought to you by Cloverdale Paint, the official paint of the Vancouver Canadians, with over 65 locations across Western Canada, but most importantly formulated and made right here in BC. Cloverdale Paint is proudly British Columbia. Barley at the top of the order, and Reynaldo Ilaraza. There is a boatload of speed. Logan Driscoll, Sean Gilby, Jack Stronach, they got a little pop at the bat, and if things go really well early, we'll see the likes of Johnny Holmza, Mason House, the DH, Jason Pineda, and Matthew Acosta rounding out the starting nine, all trying to get runs for that man right there, the left-hander Ethan Elliott. San Diego. Here's Jordy Barley, the second baseman. First pitch from Clough is fouled back at 92 miles an hour. We're underway.
And just to give fans a little bit of an insight about Kloffenstein, he's 92-94, will touch 96. Nasty hammer, good slider. Changeup is a work in progress, from what I hear. And I'm excited to see those two off-speed pitches, because I heard he knows how to mix them up. For as young as he is, they say he's just gotten better every start, and you always like to see that approach being taken by a young kid.
1-1 is to the third baseman. It's going to be a tough play, and will it be made? It won't. That's one of those ones where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't for Jesus Lopez. He was playing back behind the bag at third. Little nibbler. And Lopez tried as he may. Bobbled the baseball as well. But more than anything, Jordy Barley with speed, and it kills. And that's why you got a runner on at first.
And I should let the fans know, without the other thing you're going to see out of Kloffenstein is not that he throws a four-seamer, but he's a sinker ball pitcher. And that's a hard sinker ball. Sinker ball, as you saw right there, went sinker in at the hands, and obviously he got what he wanted, just wasn't the result. Righties, and he's got certain pitches he likes to go to.
High fly ball at his center. Barley was going on the pitch, so now he's got to revert back towards first base. Is setting up under it is Cameron Eden, and that is the first out of the baseball game as Ilaraza gets under one. And that will bring up Logan Driscoll. The key for Clough, in my estimation, Ricky, is pitch efficiency. How many are you utilizing to get through this game?
7 innings, no runs, and you know, when you see stuff like that and you see improvement, it's all you want.
Runner to second. Is he out? He trying to work his way around the tag, and that's not good enough. Brett Wright, the catcher out of Auburn's got a great arm, and it was an interesting slide because Barley went from utilizing his left hand to at the last second switching to the right, but not fooled on that is Morris, and the out is recorded, and now you got 2 outs here in the top of the first. Watch the hands here. He's going to go left, and then tried to work his way around. I don't know, Rick. He might have snuck in there because of, you know, the big body, the mid to high 90s fastball. They're both from Texas. I mean, there's a lot of symmetry between these two. But the one trouble that in my memory bank that when I look back at Noah Syndergaard's time at Vancouver, he had a tremendously hard time keeping runners on base. It was his Achilles heel. He couldn't hold runners. Clough is a lot more polished.
Yeah, and that's huge that you say that. I mean, if he's polished in that sense, that's just another step and part of the recipe for success, the higher levels he goes. So, you know what, at the end of the day, if he's just Adam Kloffenstein, he's going to be just fine.
Well, how about that? That's not a bad frame. We've seen a lot of that here in Vancouver this summer. putting matters into his own hands. Logan Driscoll caught looking, nothing brewing for the road Tri-City Dust Devils. This is Section 10. I don't know if you've ever been to Nat Bailey Stadium, but they are the unique group. They're called the Bleacher Bums here at the ballpark. It's that Noah Syndergaard right there. I could swear he's eating a hot dog. Anyways, great ballpark. Section 10 right there. That's almost, somebody says, you know, take me through Section 10. It's like they cut out a section at Yankee Stadium and put it in Vancouver. There's something very unique about that seating. If you're ever coming to the ballpark and you just want to go for it, make sure when you call the ticket office, you ask for tickets in Section 10. Well, if you want to look like the Canadians, you can go to CanadiansBaseball.com. From retro to on the field, designer. C's Team Stores got you set up. There's a high drive. You want to put something nice on? How about that thing? McGregory Contreras dresses up a fastball and drives it over the left field fence and has given the Canadians an early 1-0 lead. Oh, baby, he almost hit that one right onto the roof of the Hay Hall porch.
And you just see Contreras right there take advantage of a pitch up in the zone, exactly like Aaron Matthews has been talking about, attacking that fastball. And he got that fastball up in the zone, and he made him pay for it.
Contreras didn't even wait. Watch this swing. One of the few mistakes you'll see from Ethan Elliott. It was actually a pretty good pitch.
It was good pitch. I should say, I should revert and say it was a pitch that was right down the middle. Not up in the zone, but it was right down the middle.
You mean that's not a good pitch?
Down the middle?
Little roller out to the shortstop, fielded clean, and Ryan Sloniger is now 0 for 1 of this game.
And hopefully these guys figure that out and realize that all these at-bats are important.
Elliott, the left-hander, right back to work. Ball chopped just beyond the reaching glove of the shortstop. And into left field she goes. Cameron Eden, the kid out of Cal Berkeley. And he, for me, Ricky, has been one of my most, I guess, the guys that I lock in because he's got a ton of speed. And I've always said if he could just get the ball on the ground a few more times, he's going to get that average up. And I mean, nice piece of hitting here. But now you got one of the most dangerous guys in the ballpark on base. Referencing just moments ago as we bring you back inside Scotiabank Field at Nat Bailey Stadium. It is just a rite of passage when it comes to summertime here in Vancouver. You come out to the Nat and cheer on the Canadians, who right now have a 1-0 lead. And Adam Kloffenstein's been pretty doggone good here so far in this baseball game. It's an inning that is brought to you by East Van Brewing Company. East Van Brewing Company, our neighborhood, your beer.
Hang with them.
Yeah, 2 balls and 2 strikes here with nobody out. Blue Jays take it on the Braves tonight. Canadians take it on the Dust Devils. Pitch inside, and I think that might have caught him on the foot. A rare blemish for Adam, as House, the leadoff hitter, is going to trot down the first base line. And that's one of those ones where, Ricky, take a look at it. Maybe overthought the last pitch here.
Well, what you see here is he's trying to go in, and he just yanked that sinker.
Well, the story with Kloffenstein is the Blue Jays took him in the 3rd round last year and overpaid him his slot to get him to not go to college. And Jordan Groshans, actually a teammate of Kloff's. There's another pitch that swung on and missed. Strikeout number 3 was actually willing to give up some of his bonus to make sure they could get Kloffenstein. He's been limited to just 1 hit.
Career.
Well, as you mentioned, he just doesn't let things snowball, and he is so competitive and wants to beat you every single time. And we've been so lucky here at Vancouver to get the better part of the season with King Kloff, as he's known on social media. Pitch it misses away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some good speed on the bases. Mason House is out at second. Matthew Acosta, the Tri-City Dust Devils center fielder, is on at first. It's the future of the San Diego Padres against the future of the Toronto Blue Jays here in Vancouver tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Got him. And that's what makes him so very, very good. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Strikeout number 4. And Ricky, take me back on this one.
Yeah, you see it right there. He's ahead in the count, you can tell he put a little extra mustard on that fastball down and away.
His catcher is Brett Wright, who 2 years ago was catching Casey Mize, who ended up being the #1 overall draft pick. So it's really neat to see a seasoned veteran behind home plate working with both Manoah and Kloffenstein.
That always helps.
1-2. Nasty. My goodness, 3 strikeouts in the inning. How about this? All those viewers coming from the Blue Jay game, and the first 2 batters that they see both strike out at the hands of Adam Kloffenstein. We're going to find our way to the home half of the 3rd. Canadians going to try to build on a 1-0 lead as you're watching Vancouver Canadians baseball tonight, presented to you as always by A&W, and you're doing it right here on Sportsnet Pacific. Is Ethan Elliott quick to work? Left-hander's first pitch is drilled to the third baseman. Bobbled some more, bobbled to the point that Contreras is going to find his way on. How would you score that?
E5.
It's an E5. You know, I was telling people about the energy in this ballpark. Do you remember Sid Bream's kid a couple of years ago when he came to Vancouver and played third base? And I think he made like 3 errors in an inning because he just got absolutely overwhelmed by the crowd who wouldn't let him off the hook defensively.
I think the one I remember the most was 3-4 years ago when Trevor Gretzky was playing here with Boise.
Yes.
And I had the great privilege to sit with Wayne and Janet, his wife. And I remember Wayne looking at me after the game, and he goes right on the field. We took him down on the field to get him out. And he looks at the Boise club. He goes, fellas, this is a big league atmosphere. And I was like, well, if the great one thinks so, then I guess I won't argue too much with him. You know, no one comes to the ballpark to have a bad time. Everyone comes to the ballpark to have a great time and create a memory. And it's not always going to be about the score on the scoreboard. It's going to be a memory, an experience, or a foul ball, or an autograph. And if we can provide those things to people, you know what, and they leave with a smile on their face, then I think we've accomplished all we can accomplish as an organization.
I don't think that's a minor league thought process by any stretch of the imagination. I think some major teams could take that to mind. I mean, communicating, looking your fans in the eyes and telling them what the blueprint is. Being able to get it here in the 4th, or we'll have to wait for the 5th on the future that has just arrived at Toronto. 1-2 is chopped to the second baseman, fielded cleanly by Jordy Barley, and we are off to the top of the 5th. The error does not come back to bite the Dust Devils. I'm joined by Andy Dunn, the Vancouver Canadians president and partner. We'll take our break here. 1-0 Canadians. Top of the 5th next as you're watching A&W Vancouver Canadians baseball. You're doing it tonight on Sportsnet Pacific. Vancouver Canadians, Andy Dunn going to join us. Stick around for the 5th inning. And as we watch Adam, I have used the adage a couple of times now that everybody's got a type. And right now the Blue Jays type when it comes to, you know, their early draft picks from a pitching perspective seems to be big and durable. You look at Zoink and Pearson and Manoah and Clough. I was seeing to Ricky earlier, the shortest guy is 6'5".
A little bit. I mean, AJ was aggressive on the mound. He'd come after you. He'd go get you. He had an aggressive personality and wasn't scared to come right at you as from a hitter. And you see that. You really do. And that's a nice comp.
Johnny Holmes just got him for a double. So we had Roberto Alomar here the other night. I know you spent some time with him, and he couldn't stop talking about Bo. His ball's out to the third baseman. Lopez, nice smooth throw. But unfortunately, Horwitz isn't able to scoop that one out of the dirt. So now all of a sudden, you're going to have a runner at second and third. And they're going to actually bring this runner home as it looks like it went out of play. There's a little chalked area just beyond the first base dugout. It's an extra 5 or 6 feet. That if it goes within that chalked area, it's out of play, and it allows the extra base.
I mean, because there were some tough weeks in the dugout, in the clubhouse, in the Rogers Center if you're there as a fan. But I see it now. I see a little more energy in the clubhouse, in the dugout, and you see the fan base getting excited about what you have. When you can start seeing building blocks, and the building blocks are producing right in front of your eyes, you see what you're going to be able to build on and what you're going to have within the organization for a number of years. That's fun to watch, and it's exciting to watch.
Boy, swing and a miss, and You know what? This umpiring crew's had a couple of tough calls here in the last couple of moments. It ends up being the strikeout, keeps the runner at second as well, as Jason Pineda wasn't sure if he was coming or going. But the bottom line is stepping forward and making the play was Brett Wright to record the out, so no harm, no foul. And we finally got our first out here in the top of the 5th inning. And this is one of those tough ones, as this is a wicked pitch that is sort of swung on. Home plate umpire said that he went, and then all of a sudden he decided to run. Well, throw it down just a
It's time for Super Happy Fun Vancouver Canadians Sushi Mascot Race. Let's pick up our cameras in Vancouver down at the world famous steam clock. There's Chef Wasabi checking what time it is. Wait a minute, he's not alone. There's Mr. Kappa Mackey. They're off and running. Let's make our way over to Ethan Berard. There's Carta Honda and Sadaharu Soy, trying to keep pace in the race with all of the sushi mascots of the Vancouver Canadians. Hey, there's Chop and Stick, Miss B Zero. She goes past Science World as all of the combatants making their way from all parts of Vancouver in the Lower Mainland out to Nat Bailey Stadium. Oh, it's going to be a photo finish. The winner is Chef Wasabi. Chef Wasabi and the rest of the mascots want to thank all of our healthcare workers who are making a difference in our community. Join us once again for another edition of Super Happy Fun Vancouver Canadians Sushi Mascot Race.
Listen to other broadcasters and kind of just, what do I want to bring to the game? How do I want to let the fan know what I'm seeing? And I think my goal in all this was just to give them a little bit of an insight of what a pitcher's going through, what a hitter's seeing, even though I wasn't a hitter. And I feel like as games went on, I got better.
Yeah, agreed. It's like, not easy, man. It's not easy.
Oh, no. And you have...
It's a ball fair that's going to go into the left field corner. That's good news. And now this is extra bases for Brett Wright. Just now getting to the baseball is Jack Strodick. So that's a good start for the Canadians, who just gave up 2 runs to Tri-City at the top of the 5th to get the leadoff pony on base with an extra base hit. Let's see if the Canadians can atone and get that runner right back. A lot of players starting to figure where they're at and what they got to do to maybe just get a little bit better number-wise. There's a ball that's lofted into center, just beyond the shortstop, Ilaraza. And now the Canadians with runners at first and third. Another good piece of hitting.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the stuff that they had.
Wondering who was going to pick up the torch. Jesus Lopez, one of those guys. A ball that is hit into center. Is it deep enough to score that runner right from third? Catch is made from Acosta. Throw to the plate. It's going to be cut off. And you got yourself a 2-2 baseball game.
That to me right there, Rob, is playing the game. Playing it. Understanding the situation. You got a runner at third base. I'm going to drive a ball out to the outfield deep enough to where my runner can tag up. And that's exactly what Lopez did right there. You see it right there. Well, gets that ball up in the air deep enough to where the runner can tag up.
I'm a really big fan of productive outs.
100.
There they are, the A&B Tool Rentals grounds crew, and in addition to all the stuff that they do to make sure that this ballpark looks immaculate, they spend a lot of time doing stuff like this. A little Crazy in Love right there. It's one of the loudest pops that you'll hear all night here at the ballpark. And they got to finish their drag right now. Jonah, he's not dragging anything. It's terrible. All right, you got a 2-2 game. We're off to the top of the 6th, and Adam Kloffenstein, he's out for one more frame to try and get right here. He's got 7 strikeouts tonight, and it's going to lead us into our first Ask Ricky question of the night. Ricky Romero, the first Ask Ricky that I have is, now that you've seen Adam Kloffenstein several times this season, would you put him next year in Lansing or in Dunedin?
I think Andy Dunn touched on it a little bit, and it just depends on how fast you want to move him. Me personally, young prospect, he's done what he had to do here in the Northwest League. I'd send him to Dunedin, personally. Why? You send him to Lansing, it's cold there early in the year. The weather can be a factor. You know, you want to have your young prospects in that warm climate, innings in, because that's what's important. You want to get your innings in. So if you're missing the first 2-3 weeks, everyone keeps getting pushed back. Now you're behind. And for me personally, I'd like to see him in a nice, warm climate to get his innings in and obviously show what he's got.
High drive into right field off the bat of Logan Driscoll. That's back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone. That ball just kept going and going. And I'll tell you what, in Vancouver, if you can hit one over the right field fence, you've tagged it pretty well. A rare blemish. And this one has re-established a one-run lead for Tri-City. It's 3-2.
Yeah, and as you said, to hit it out at this ballpark, it takes a lot, and it's just up in the zone, and it's a mistake, rare mistake by Clough tonight. And
the chicken dance with the official mascot of the Vancouver Canadians, Bob Brown Bear. That man right there, that bear, makes more than 150 community appearances every season. Not even year-round, just in season. He's the busiest bear in town. As Gage Berlin has come into the baseball game. But before we get into the right-hander Gage Berlin, let's recap a little of Adam Kloffenstein's evening here at Nat Bailey Stadium that included a whole bunch of strikeouts tonight. 8 of them, if you're counting. Let's see if we can get as many as we can. Clough got to work early, and boy, that secondary stuff is just nasty. Everything had movement, everything had life. So much of Blue Jay Nation has been waiting to put their eyes on Adam Kloffenstein. There's one of the few blemishes, a ball that he just spikes that allows a run in. But you know what? He got right back to work, and that's what you want to see. That was his 8th and final strikeout. And now he gives way to the kid from Spokane, Washington. Gage Berlin has come into the baseball game wearing Matthew LeBlanc-Poyer's old number 18, Rich Harden's old number 18, if you really want to pull back the rug. And Berlin, making his 17th appearance of the season, comes in with some pretty rough numbers, in ERA in the mid-7s. This inning brought to you by Hey Y'all, Southern style hard iced tea. In the South, it is always iced and hard. And of course,
but at the same time, I think they've all come up together, and they're like 3 brothers. And everything I hear is positive. And like I said, can't wait to see them keep growing in that organization. And hopefully you see them win some titles and bring some championships to Toronto.
Well, here we go. Nice replay. Here's Gage Berlin's first out, of fastball right down the heart of the plate. And, you know, it's funny is you talk to certain pitching coaches and they say he throws a heavy ball. And this is not an Ask Ricky question. This is just a Rob Fade or Ricky. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Berlin offers up a pitch that's a little bit low. So after striking out Mason House, Jason Pineda finds his way on as he makes his way down the line, and it's going to bring up Matthew Acosta. And then I realized, as you know, things progressed through my life, John Schneider called me when he was about to make his debut in the major leagues as a coach. And there's a little ball bled into left field. Will it drop? It will. So that's going to put runners at first and second here.
It was hard. It was hard because it really, you know, at the time I'm like, I'm going to write.
There's a ball that's drilled into center. Cameron Eaton's going to try to get to it, but he can't. Here comes that runner around from third, and he's going to score. It is an RBI single from Jordy Barley. And right now, let us not take our eyes off of the particular prize. baseballs on that porch right there. That's just beyond the left field fence. What an awesome place to hang out and check out the Vancouver Canadians. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. They got the Southern-style hard iced tea. It is all good in the hood just beyond left field. But right now, Canadians got a little bit of work to do. They've given up a couple of runs. They're down 5-2. Tri-City tonight, 5 runs on 7 hits. Canadians 2 runs on 6. Pretty good portion of the order for the Vancouver Canadians here. It's going to be Will Robertson, Brett Wright, and Luis De Los Santos. And although that is 7, 8, 9 in the order, it's been a pretty productive part of the lineup for the Canadians tonight. Wright with a double and a run scored. Luis De Los Santos is 2 for 2 with a couple of base hits. So let's see if Will Robertson can get something done here against Wenhua Sung out for his 3rd inning of work. Pitches up. The count goes to 1 ball and no strikes.
Rob, how was it doing the game from left field on Monday?
Man. All right. Well, to those watching, broadcast a game from the Hayall porch 2 nights ago with Alek Manoah pitching. And I almost feel like I did him a bit of a disservice because I was so busy rolling out former Toronto Blue Jays and doing interviews with them that Manoah struck out, what, 8 or 9? And I was too busy hanging out with you and Casey Jansen and Jason Grilly.
I'm glad they all came out. I mean,
awesome.
It's got to be pretty cool. And for me, it's pretty cool to be around a guy like Roberto Alomar. And I'm sure when you have him sitting on the hot seat, you know, you get to ask him stuff about baseball and what he's doing. And man, what a first-class individual. Like, all the way. I can't say enough good things about him. And just the way he goes about it. There's no ego to him. And says no. He never says no to pictures, autographs. I've never seen that out of him. And just a humbled individual.
I will go one farther. I think that one day the government of Canada should give him the Order of Canada. He's perfectly deserving of it. No reason why not to. 3-1 is hammered into center field. Off the bat of Will Robertson. It is back. It's warning track wall, and it is off the top of it. Almost robbed of a home run. Boy, he stung that one, and Roberts is looking around saying, I hit that with everything that I had.
When he talks, there's so much passion behind anything that he's talking about. And, you know, I told him, you're going to make a good broadcaster one day because you can talk the game. You have that energy about you, and he loves it. He likes being around the game. He's a tremendous guy to have around, too.
That they're playing against. You're not seeing a Saturday guy or a Friday guy all the time. Pitches away. That's going to allow both the runners to advance. And that's a huge break for the Canadians in this moment. Ball pops out of the catcher's glove. Holmes didn't have the ball get that far away from him. But now that conventional double play is taken out of the equation. And the Canadians are in business here. Down.
Got a kid that wants to learn another culture. And it's important, especially in baseball, when you get a lot of Latin kids that you play along.
How about that?
Exactly what they needed right there.
Well, this place is about to get loud. And if you've never experienced Nat Bailey when the boys are on the ropes and all of a sudden, bottom right-hand corner, or he was a second ago. Ball that is hit out towards the second baseman into the glove, flipped towards nobody. So the run will score. Base hit for Spencer Horwitz, and everybody advances 90 feet. Wonderful play from Barley just to keep it in the infield, but nowhere near Ilaraza covering the bag, so the Canadians have brought it to within 2.
Again, the key is for him not to get long here with the swing. Can't get too long. Got to stay within himself.
Ball back up the middle. That's going to score 1. Here comes the tying run. Morris is around third. The throw will be to third. The run will score. Into the rundown is Horwitz, and the inning is over. But you know what? He bought enough time that both runs score. And guess what, fella? We got a 5-5 baseball game. Canadians played. The Canadians showing a lot of resiliency tonight. A couple of crooked numbers on the old manually operated scoreboard here at Nat Bailey Stadium, but that 3 looms large for the Tri-City Dust Devils, who just cannot seem to find success here at Nat Bailey. And now you get the left-hander, Luke Gillingham, who's brought to you by Steamworks, which is Vancouver's original steam brewery. Jack Stronach is going to take his swings against Gillingham. The old lefty-lefty matchup as the pitch is fouled off, and the count goes to 0-1. 5 baseball game. And a curveball that misses a little bit up. Stronek's hitting .237 this year. He's got a couple of home runs to go with a dozen RBI. Pretty good pitch. Not called for a strike.
You know what I like about Gillingham? He never gives in. Right there, he's 2-1, and hey, you know what? I trust my curveball. I'm going to drop another one. Obviously, he falls to 3-1, but oof, thought that pitch was close too. Gillingham, we're used to see him just rushing a little bit, close off, get back on it, stay on top of the ball, and good things will happen.
High drive and a right. That's not coming back. That is a 2-run ball that is smashed. Mason House just hit his first home run of the season, and it is a big home run as he made that park look real small on a ball that just jumped off the bat.
And sometimes that's what happens when you fall behind in the count right there. You're down 3-1. You have to come over the fat part of the plate, and House.
Here comes the 2-2. It's a ball that is hit into right, and it drops.
It's a great piece of hitting right there by Santos.
With 2 strikes as well.
De Los Santos, excuse me.
So let's see what happens here. The tying run is on base, and the walk-off run is about to find his way on. But again, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, that'll answer the question. So De Los Santos will deal a walk down to second base. Tanner Morris, freshly bruised, is going to make his way on base as well. And now Jesus Lopez, not known as a guy that drops down many a bunt, with a very key situation. This one gets away from Metters, RBI. Hitting .250 this season. Boy, Austin Metters has not found himself in this depth a lot this season. I'm telling you. Nobody out. Runners at first and second for the Vancouver Canadians at a 1-run game at the bottom of the 9th. Wheel plays on as a ball is hit into left field, and that's going to bring the tying run around. The throw is on the way to the plate, and it's not in time. Seven baseball game. RBI single for Lopez, and the walk-off run is at second base, and there's nobody out. Sloniger wearing Nick Balagod's old number 12, and Balagod had a walk-off grand slam several years ago. The 0-1 is low.
I was going to say, it almost seemed the Canadians have been doing so well at the plate, being selective, taking what the game's giving them, and it almost seemed the last 2 hitters try to do a little bit too much. And I want to end this game with 1 swing of the bat instead of, hey, I'm just going to select my pitch. I'm going to be aggressive, but not overly aggressive.
1-1 is a ball that is hammered into right. If it drops, the game's over, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. The Canadians will come from behind tonight and walk off the Tri-City Dust Devils 8-7 as the kid from Penn State University. You think back to all of the moments of adversity in this game. They were down 2-1. They were down 3-2. They were down 5-2. They had tied it at 5. Then they fell behind 7-5 and just wouldn't go away. And that's why tonight the Vancouver Canadians walk out of here with a victory.
Gee, who's the player of the game? I can't tell. Yeah, of course, with Ryan Sloniger. You were 0 for 4 at that at-bat. Way to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a tough first 4 at-bats for me. I got myself into some bad counts. I mean, right there, I was just looking for a fastball, got myself into a hitter's count. And
Alek Manoah with, what was that, baby powder?
I'm not sure. I don't know what this is, but he missed a little bit.
Deserved, and I'll tell you this, look at that celebration. You telling me they're not having fun in Vancouver this summer? Even the big guy, Alek Manoah, is out there trying to find his spot to get in the pile, and that's what it's all about. That's what we do. It's everything from dancing groundskeepers to all kinds of people that have behind the scenes help us get this one done. Want to thank also Barber & Co. tonight. Fresh fades. Ricky never looked better. My hair's in good shape as well. Guys at Barber & Co. get you all squared away with several locations, both here in British Columbia and back east in Ontario. And also our suits tonight, customized by our friends at Indochino. If you want to look a step ahead and a cut better, Indochino will customize your suits to make sure you look the best you can be. Ryan Sloniger, you put him in any suit tonight. He's the player of the game. 0 for 4, Ricky kept it real. My thanks to Ricky Romero, Caroline Frolic, Peter Young, all the staff at Hubcast, and everybody down below that brought you Canadians baseball tonight. What a way to end this one. Canadians 8-7 winners over the Tri-City Dust Devils. They live to see another.